What's up, everybody? A Silver Lord here, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing a in-depth spy tutorial, and I just felt like over the years I've gathered a lot of tips and tricks about spy, and I just thought maybe I should share that with you guys. Now, this is going to be a beginner's tutorial. I'm thinking about doing a advanced tutorial some other time, but for now this is just for the beginners, people who are new to spy or just new to the game in general and want to learn about spy. And I'm just going to be walking you guys through each of the individual sections, if you will, of playing a spy. And that's going to basically be this. And also, if you guys could like or subscribe, because I put a lot of work into this video, so just leave a like or even comment or do something, socialize on this video. I just really appreciate it to show that you guys liked the video, or just send some feedback in general. But let's get right into it. The knife is what makes the spy most unique, in my opinion. It allows him to pretty much kill any class instantly as long as you get him from behind. Now, getting behind your target is the tricky part and what most people have trouble with. And mainly what you want to do is just find your target, and when you see them, think, how can I get behind them? So right here, there's a sniper all the way in the back tunnel over there. I see him, and I obviously can't go from the front because then I'll just get bumped into and he'll probably see me. So instead I take the left tunnel, I go all the way around, and since he is distracted, he won't look around for me and I'm able to get a kill. And that brings me to another tip. You want to focus on people who are distracted by something because they're more likely to not notice you. But when you go all out just chasing after somebody, it's mostly not going to work out. You gotta go after the people that aren't looking. See, this engineer sees me, he was waiting for me, I get a little too confused and I just jump out and I get too hasty trying to kill a medic and I get taken out by a mini sentry. So you want to just keep calm, find people who aren't focused on their surroundings really. This combo right here, they're not focused on what's going on. They're too busy focusing on my allies. So while they're doing that, I take out the demo man and then the medic takes so much damage that I'm able to face stab him. Another tip as the spy is after you stab somebody, you want to make sure you keep moving. You don't want to just stay near the person you killed, because somebody's probably going to notice, they're probably going to see there's the dead body and start getting a little paranoid and start looking for you. So as soon as you get a kill on somebody, you want to just leave that area or go invisible into a corner, wait for somebody else to show up that isn't going crazy like a pyro or something, and then go after them. So right here I stab a scout, and since the sniper didn't notice me, I'm able to go up to him. He wasn't really paying attention. And now I keep on moving, I just keep moving forward because I could hear that there was a sniper behind me that saw me, so I don't want him to start chasing me around and possibly alert his teammates that I'm a spy. So instead I keep moving forward. I sort of fail to stab here, but since I keep moving away from him, I'm able to take out the demo man and the engineer before the scout takes me out. Now when it comes to taking out combos, what you're going to want to do is take out the medic first. As you see here, there's going to be a heavy medic combo coming up, and I target the medic first. And for the sole reason of, when you take out the medic first, not only are you stopping the combo, but you're also preventing an Uber from building up. Because this medic up here, he has Uber ready. So if I were to take out the heavy first, he could just retreat and get that Uber onto somebody else. So it's always better to go for the medic first in a situation like that. Also, as a spy, you should just be targeting the medic in general because he's a very high priority target. So as you're going to see here, this medic just on the other side of the door, he has Uber. So I want to take him out even if it kills me, because that's going to help out my team a ton. So I'm trying to follow him around, I get to him, and I'm able to kill him before he Ubers. Unfortunately I die, but it was worth it. The revolver is a very overlooked weapon when it comes to the spy because people really don't think it's worth using when you have a knife that can instantly kill somebody. But truth be told, the revolver can dish out a lot of damage at mid-range when you're not able to get close to your target and backstab them, not including the crit that you just saw. But anyway, the revolver is really good at picking off targets that you can't exactly finish off with your knife, whether it be because you'd be walking right at them and you die instantly, or maybe you missed a stab but they have only like 20 health left, so you just shoot them once and then they're dead. But one thing you never want to do is get flustered, because right here you're going to see what happens when I just start thinking too much about how I'm missing and I gotta keep shooting. You never want to do that. You just want to stop and take aim. So right here, this guy only has 20 health left. I didn't want to face stab him, but I keep missing all my shots. But with my last shot, I sit there, I wait, and I shoot, and if I had done that in the first place, I wouldn't have died there. But another thing with the revolver is that it's great for when you just can't get to a target, because sometimes they could be at full health and the revolver can kill many classes except for like the heavy in about 3 to 4 shots at most. So this pyro over here, he's going to air blast me into a corner and I can't kill him with my knife. So instead I just start shooting him with my revolver. He takes a little bit of damage from another source and I'm able to kill him before he finishes me off. But right here, I miss a stab on an engineer, a very easy stab I might add, and instead of trying to run away, he stays and tries to finish me off. His mistake though, because with 2 easily placed shots, he's dead. So right here, I'm on the point, I don't really want to be here, so I back off, and I'm able to take out the heavy, but all these other targets I'm not able to really hit with my knife. So instead, while the sniper is running away, I just hit him with my revolver, easy to do. And also, most people don't know this, but the first shot of every full clip with the revolver is a guaranteed like 100% accuracy. So you could hit somebody from so far away with a revolver as long as you have all 6 rounds in it. So it's very good for just doing some quick damage to a target, maybe if your team needs a little help, or finishing off targets. All around a very overlooked weapon, but a very awesome one. Disguising, in theory, is one of the spy's greatest assets. Now, I say in theory because basically anything you do while disguised can just set somebody off to start spy checking you. And by anything, I mean anything. You could literally just be standing there and you just get spy checked. So the number one rule when disguising as spy is just don't trust it. Because no matter what, eventually you're going to get found out, whether it be using the same disguise too often or just approaching from the wrong direction. As you can see here, your best option is to get out, change disguise, and try again, basically. Either that or just don't use a disguise to get there. Go invisible or approach from a different direction. Because it's just so difficult to get somebody to trust your disguise. You have no idea. And sometimes you just have to not rely on it. And the biggest tool for disguising is just not being able to get shot by sentries, because sentries will not shoot at you if you're disguised. That's basically the greatest asset to a disguise. And one of the main reasons why you always have to be disguised whenever you're entering in an area where there's sentries, whether there's enemies there or not. Just always be disguised. And as you can see there, I was disguised as that sniper, so he immediately figured me out and was able to take me out. So when disguising, you also want to just look in the lower left, see who you are, see what your name is. Because if you see that guy somewhere, immediately just change disguise so they won't catch on. And right here, like I said, anything can set somebody off, whether it just be standing in the wrong place or looking suspicious. That engineer immediately knew that I was a spy just because I was sort of in the wrong place at the time. Another tip is to make sure when you're disguising, you're in an area where that person would be. And by this I mean, if you're, say, a sniper, you're disguised as a sniper, sit far back, away from all the action, back near the enemy spawn, or back where the enemy comes from, where they won't really suspect anything, because that's what snipers do. They hang back, don't really do anything, and they're supposed to snipe people. The only thing that could really set somebody off there is the fact that you can't look like you're scoped in. So if they notice that, that's pretty much a giveaway. And another thing is, don't go near somebody who's been, I guess you could say, set off, because this dumb man, he saw me. I thought I could get away by just acting like I'm a spy and just ignoring the damage, which is another thing you should do. Just ignore when people are attacking you, but just don't try to trick somebody that's already caught your scent, because you're going to die. It's just going to happen if you actually trust your disguise will fool them. Right here, I just forgot to disguise in general, and if I actually had, I wouldn't have taken damage from that sentry and died. The Sapper is what makes a spy a great utility for his team, allowing him to temporarily disable enemy engineer buildings and possibly destroy them if enough damage is dealt by it, unless the engineer removes it first. Now, when going after a dense nest such as this, I like to use a method called the crazy sap, where as you can see I sap every single building all at once, and most of the time the engineer usually gets flustered and doesn't know whether to kill you or remove the sapper or what to remove first, and if you have teammates there, all the better, because then they'll be able to do the real damage to the buildings while they can't take any damage from sentries. In a situation like this though, when there's enemy teammates around and they can see what's going on, it's best not to go after the crazy sap, because usually one of them will involve themselves, such as this pyro, and then you can't finish your crazy sap. Another way to approach this that I think would be better is when you have teammates around. So I'm going after the same nest here. This engineer has just picked up his building, so it's even better. So I'm going to move forward with my soldier behind me, and I'm just going to start sapping these buildings, trying to stab the engineer in case he's not focusing, and then we can just finish him off easily. And my sapper didn't even have to do most of the work. Now, when a sentry is all by itself without an engineer to build it up or to repair it, you want to sap it and then just start shooting it with your revolver to get the maximum amount of damage onto that sentry, so that way there's no chance for that engineer to heal it no matter what. So that's a really good method for taking out a sentry or dispenser, whatever building you're going after, very quickly, because revolver can do a lot of damage when you're just firing at a building constantly. So right here, there's this sentry that's right below me. I sap it, and even though this engineer is repairing it, because my sapper brought it down to such a low health, I was able to destroy it with my revolver before he can respond. Most of the time when you start sapping an engineer's buildings, they'll focus more on taking off the sapper rather than killing you, unless they actually understand what they're doing. So right here, I'm sapping the sentry, preventing it from actually killing our soldier on a heavy, and this engineer is too focused on the sentry to focus on me stabbing him in the back. Now right here, there's this small nest going on just before the first point, and I wait until these two engineers just leave. They just go off. This one engineer is spy checking another engineer, so I take this opportunity to move in, start sapping the buildings, and this engineer, he starts hitting me, but he focuses too much on the building again because it's getting low, and then I'm able to kill him, continue sapping, and destroy that little nest there. Positioning as a spy is one of the more difficult things to catch up on, because it doesn't only require you to know spy, it requires you to actually know the maps you're playing on and have experience with them and just playing. You have to play a lot in order to understand where you should be and where you should be going. But for the most part, as a spy, you want to just remain out of combat and out of people's field of view. That's very important, because if you don't follow that, you'll end up walking into a medic and just dying and looking like an idiot. So for the most part, when you're, say, in somebody's spawn like I am right here, you want to remain off to the side where people won't instinctively just see you and think spy. So I'm just going to sit here by spawn. This soldier didn't see me because I'm out of his field of view. A good judgment, by the way, is just 90 degrees to the left and right. That's basically where the field of view will end, and basically the safe zone. Even if it doesn't end exactly there, you want to at least remain there or behind it, because it's sort of like a safe zone. You know you can't be seen when you're that far back behind. And when you're in combat or in the middle of combat while your two teams are just going at it, you'll end up just getting found out, getting shot at, and taking a ton of damage, as you saw there. If I had just stayed under instead of going above over the point, I wouldn't have taken all that damage and been reduced to 1 health. And then, the smart guy that I am, I go right back in there and get hit with a flare. So it doesn't really matter if you're invisible or if somebody knows you're a spy. It really depends on where you are, because I've gotten headshot from a sniper all the way across, like, away, and it was just because I was in front of my teammates invisible, and I took the damage for that. So it really depends on where you are at the time. Another method I like to use is when you're taking a lot of damage, the best thing to do is walk one direction, go invisible, and then walk a completely separate direction, just juke them out. For the most part it works, and unless this person is like a pyro and then just starts spraying in a 360 or they just start shooting all around them. But as you can see right here, this soldier thinks I'm going up the route there, but instead I go through the tunnel and he's none the wiser. Right here is an example of what not to do. As you can see, I'm going to take a few shots from this soldier and I keep walking in the same direction. I'm being very predictable, and as a spy, that's the last thing you want to be, is predictable. Another place you generally want to be is just away from combat. Just stay away from where all the action's going, take all the back routes, stay all the way behind. Some people couldn't even be there. It's just better for you to be there so that way you're able to get a better drop on the enemy. See, I take this back route over here, nobody ever checks there for spies, and by doing so I'm able to remain undetected from the enemy team, and I'm just able to get behind them and get 4 stabs on people on the cart. Sure, I die, but that was completely worth it in my opinion. Now, once you sort of infiltrate the enemy side of a territory, where most of the enemies are going to be, where none of the conflict is, just a lot of the enemies, the best place to be is above them. Because if there's one place people don't look in TF2, it's up. It's the last place they look, and they just mostly always focus on what's ahead and what's around, never vertically. And as you can see, it could really help you out by just staying in a position above enemies, so that way you're able to sort of analyze what you're doing and what the situation is before you really get into anything. And it also allows you to get the drop on enemies, like that. And it's just very useful for you to be above your enemy to sort of scout them out first. So I hope you all enjoyed this spy tutorial. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I worked really hard on this video, quite a long time in the making. So once again, please leave a like or subscribe and leave some comments below. Give some tips to your fellow community out there and anything that I might have missed that you guys feel like you should let the community know about. But until next time, guys, I'm Ace Overlord. See ya.